Hello friends, welcome back to more Reddit stories about entitled people, insane people, and everything in between. Hope you're all doing awesome today. Be sure to subscribe for more and let's get right into today's Reddit posts. Karen calls me stupid for her bill not being paid. So a bit of backstory. I work as a manager for a major cell phone carrier. The amount of times we see customers who don't pay their bill and get mad that their service is shut off is crazy. Like, yeah, we aren't going to continue to provide you service if you don't pay what you owe. But I also do understand that people run into financial issues, and I will do what I can to help them out. Just don't be an a-hole and we will see what can be done. So recently, I had a Karen show up to my store in a huff. When I see customers looking angry or annoyed come in, I take them instead of giving them to one of my reps, because I feel like ultimately I'll get asked to help anyways. So I see her walk in with her kid and I look towards her and smile. Hello, how are you guys doing today? Not so good. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What seems to be wrong? Well, you guys cut off my service, and I'm mad because I talked to your customer service yesterday, and they said that I should be fine with service until I can make my payment next week. Now, when it comes to situations like this, all I can do at the store is have her pay her bill to restart her service. When customer service makes promises like this, which happens a lot, and customers can have the extension due to a promise to pay service, we can try to contact customer service and have them turn their phones back on. Now, the issue with contacting customer service for a customer who has a past due bill is that the call will just go straight to billing to make them pay. If we enter another customer's number, customer service will just hang up and report the store. So knowing this, I tell the customer exactly this to give her the right expectation, but I assure her that I'll do what I can to get in touch with customer service. She didn't like that. What do you mean you can't restart my service or contact customer service? It's your guys' fault that my service is shut off. It's not that I can't, it's just that it will be difficult to get someone on the line due to your account status. I'm just setting the right expectations. Karen rolls her eyes. Just get my service running again. So I guide her to my store's phone and call the number we have to call customer service. On the phone, I chose the options to speak with the customer service rep, and the automated machine asks for the number I'm working with. I dial her number and we get sent to billing. We then hear, "You have reached the billing department." Then Karen interrupts. That's the message that I get when I call them. Yes, like I said before, this will be the only department you'll be able to contact due to your account status. We'll use your direct customer service number. This is that number. If you want, we can call back and try another option, but I think it will lead us back here. Karen agrees, so I hang up and call again. I tried this time to reach a different customer service department, beside the general department that we call. But again, as soon as the system recognized her number, we hear the billing message again. This is bullshit, said Karen. Ma'am, please no swearing in the store. I'll say what I want. You can't tell me what to do. You're absolutely right, but I can have you leave with no resolution to your problem. Well then, use someone else's number to get someone to answer. Like I mentioned before, I won't be doing that. I won't get my store in trouble for doing that. You have to listen to me. Now use your own number to get someone. I am not using my number. I've done all that I can do for you. If you want to use someone else's number, then you can call customer service from a different phone. Then give me their number. Gladly. I start walking to the back to write down the number for her. As soon as I open the door to the back room, I hear her say, "That guy is an idiot." I stop in my tracks and walk right back to her. You can leave now. I understand you're mad about your service being shut off, but that doesn't give you the right to insult me or my team. So leave. Well, I'm sorry, she said condescendingly. Please get me customer service's number and I will. No, you can Google it, I said. How am I supposed to do that? My service is shut off. Not my problem. Now leave. Karen, after she notices that I'm not going to budge for her, picks up her stuff, grabs her kid, and marches towards the exit. She says as she's almost to the door, "You're an asshole." To which one of my reps reply, "Well, at least he pays his bill." Probably not the major meltdown most people expect from retail stories, but I felt like it was good to share. Entitled mom goes super Karen in the warehouse and gets arrested. I'm 18 years old, 17 when this happened. I live in the Netherlands and I work at a local supermarket as a stock clerk. Don't really know how to translate that. Almost every week we have a discount on certain items. It's called the bonus, and sometimes when you buy 2 to 3 items from one brand, you get some special product from that brand. A beer glass when you buy a 6-pack of that brand, a Lipton iced tea hat when you buy a certain amount of bottles, etc. That week, when you bought 3 items from this kid's brand, you get this rather creepy-looking doll. This is basically what the story is based around. And oh boy, am I glad we don't offer kids' toys with these products anymore. I was working in the afternoon on a Thursday like usual, when a kid walks by slowly. I of course didn't think anything of this, as I am just doing my job. She walks by about 3 times, and the 4th time she asks me if the dolls are out of stock. I explained to her that more will be coming that evening and that she would unfortunately have to wait. She asked how late, and I told her that they would probably arrive after closing time because of a delayed shipment, so she would have to wait until the next day. She walks away with quite a sad face, and I felt bad for her, though I continued working. I didn't really think about it anymore. Fast forward a bit to around 2 hours later. It's almost closing time, just 5 more minutes, and I was pretty tired. This is where entitled mom comes in, without entitled kid. She looked angry. The mother stomps straight towards me and quite angrily asks me if I was the boy that told her daughter that she couldn't have one of those dolls. Me, being tired as hell, looked at her with a confused face, and after processing the question, I remembered the kid that asked for the doll. Yes, that's me. Do you know you made my little girl cry? I am sorry for upsetting your daughter, but the dolls are out of stock and won't arrive until... She cuts me off. I don't care about the time it arrives. You will get me a doll right now or I will make sure you get fired. I will do everything to make sure more dolls arrive as soon as possible, but the store closes in 5 minutes, and... She cuts me off again. I want to look in the back. I don't believe you. She was pretty much screaming at that moment. I see a colleague of mine in another part of the store look up from the work he was doing and listening to where the noise was coming from. He just continued doing his work, and I did not want to call him because I thought I could handle this myself. I bring the entitled mother to the back where we keep the dolls, when we have them. I normally never let people into the section because it's only for employees, but I didn't want her to go super Karen, so I let her in. I grab one of the terminals. It's a small device that we use to keep track of the stock in the warehouse and the quantity of products we order in the next shipment. I show her that there is currently no dolls in the store, and before I can show her the order we placed for the new dolls, she grabs the terminal, which is worth around 1,400 euros or $1,600, and throws it on the effing ground. I immediately ask my boss to come to the warehouse through my earpiece. The entitled mom knows she can't touch me or cause me any harm because A, I am under the age of 18, so it's basically child abuse, and B, there are cameras everywhere, and she already knew that. But apparently only point A interests her, and she proceeds to kick all the wagons of goods we have standing in the warehouse. She also threw 6 packs of wine and beer on the floor, which made a horrible mess. After about 1 minute of this constant fear in me, my boss and 3 team leaders arrive in the warehouse to take a look at the situation. My boss was, well, not happy with the situation. Apparently, he took some kind of fight training because he grabs the entitled mom in a certain position, so she is pinned on the ground with nowhere to move. One of the team leaders is asked to call the police. Within 20 minutes, the police arrive at our warehouse. I was surprised that the woman didn't attempt to kick or slap my boss, because she has been held on the ground this whole time. The 2 policemen are guided to the office by 2 team leaders, while me, the 3rd team leader, and boss are still in the back of the store. After about 10 minutes, which felt like an eternity for me, the policemen and team leaders come back and one of the policemen put the woman in handcuffs. After that, we all go to the office. The entitled mother is giving me death glares the entire way there. She also kind of whisperingly swears at me and calls me names. When we got to the office, I was afraid I had done something wrong that would get me fired. And this begins with the entitled mom being allowed to talk before me. Of course, she lies in a pretty big way, literally saying that I touched her kid. The officers probably already knew that was not the case and asked some questions about that to me. I was struggling to find the right words because I have never been in a situation like this, and I was on the verge of crying. I told them they needed to check the camera footage from 2.5 hours before this. They found the moment where the girl came up to me. The policeman saw enough and took the woman away from us, probably off to the police station where she deserves to be. Boss and team leader come with me to the warehouse to help me clean up. Boss notices I wasn't in a good state to continue working, and he gave me a can of soda and told me I could go to the break room to take a break to cool down from this. Eventually, he just sent me home because I was too emotional from all the threats from the woman. When I came home, I told my parents the entire story, and they were shocked. They asked me if I wanted to continue working there, and I did. There was nothing wrong with the place itself. $800 car turns into $3,000 in tickets. This has been a favorite story among my friend group over the last few years, so I figured I'd share it here. From 2018 to 2022, I, 25 male, was a consistently broke pizza delivery guy. My common method for vehicles was to buy cars for less than $1,000, do minor repairs, and drive them for 3 to 6 months until they exploded. I'd make 10 times on the car and would wash repeat. Did this probably 7 or 8 times over the years. The only time I ever got burned was buying a '98 Civic Coupe. I remember I was a little extra broke but needed a car for work that week, and Civics and Corollas were and are the easiest and cheapest for me to work on. I texted him and drove to Felony Flats in Portland, red flag 1, and was greeted by a man with a gold grill, red flag 2, who didn't speak much English, which wasn't helped by my poor Spanish. The car itself was pretty beat up cosmetically, but ran perfectly, so I gave him the $800 and headed to work. This is where the f***ery begins. The next day I head to the DOL to register the car, only to realize that the title was voided due to the car being in a wreck, so I wouldn't be able to register until I got the proper title. Annoying, but I figured he made an innocent mistake. I call him and leave a message saying there's issues with the title and he doesn't respond. I call 100 plus times over the next 2 weeks to get it figured out, but he keeps ignoring me, and at this point I figure I've been had. I move the car to the public street to deal with another day. One morning I come out to find tickets for no registration and no insurance left on the car, $150 to $200 between the two, and a tow warning. At first, I was enraged, until it dawned on me that the car wasn't in my name, and those tickets weren't mine to deal with, so I made a plan. Every few days, the car would get re-ticketed and tagged for towing. I would come out, place the tickets on the driver's seat, move the car by a few feet, and erase the tow warnings. After 2-ish months, I had racked up about $2,000 in tickets on this car, not in my name. One day I get a frantic call from, who do you guess? The man who sold me the car, who also miraculously learned perfect English, telling me he was getting calls from the city and begging me to not let them tow it. I think at this point he realized what I was doing, and that he would get me the title that week, and that the delay was because he and his wife were in a nasty divorce, and she had the current title. I simply responded, "What car?" and hung up on him. As I was leaving my apartment, I saw the cops there getting ready to load it on the tow truck, and decided to let it go in case the former owner came looking for it. Ultimately, I never got my $800 back, but he got $2,000 in tickets, $4,000 if they went 30 plus days unpaid, and a $1,000 tow bill. And if the story about his divorce was true, a super pissed off ex-wife, because the car was still in her name too. Can't put a price on that. I never heard from him or the city about the car. My only regret was not driving it to an empty parking lot and leaving it in a handicap spot, but didn't want to risk being seen on cameras. Hope you enjoyed. Alright guys, that's going to be all for today. Thank you for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, and also don't forget to subscribe. So take care, and I'll see you all next time.